Hello dear students, today in this session of Management Accounting, our first chapter, Analysis of Interpretation of Accounts, we have completed the first part, that is vertical balance sheet. Now in this session I'll be taking vertical income statement. Vertical income statement means nothing but conversion of trading and profit and loss account in vertical format. How we did in the first part, normal balance sheet, T form, horizontal, liability, asset, we converted into the vertical format, sources of funds and application of funds. Similarly here, our account, trading account, P&L account, debit credit wala, horizontal format, we will convert into the vertical format. Now what I am going to do in this session is same like what I did in the first class of this chapter, where I took a full session on discussing the entire vertical format of balance sheet. Similarly, I will take a full session on discussion of vertical income statement. This full session I am not solving any sum. I will discuss the full income statement, and in the next class we will take the sums. Okay. Now see, I've given the heading Proforma of vertical income statement. Vertical income statement is nothing but converting our normal trading and profit and loss account in the vertical format. Now what you will do, format is the same what we did for balance sheet. Particulars, 3 columns of amount. Now I am repeating the same thing what I mentioned while doing balance sheet. If you all want to write along with me, you write, or I am discussing each and every item, but there are sub items under the head which I will not write majority. I will discuss. Entire format in detail is attached in the PDF below the video. So what you all can do, if you all want, go with me, but write it in the rough. After understanding whatever is the format which is attached in the PDF, you all please copy down in your own handwriting. So I leave it up to you all. If you all want to go with me, do it in rough and later on copy the full as per PDF, or just listen and later on copy the PDF में the format what is given. Okay. Now see, when I say income statement, as I told you, conversion of trading P&L into vertical format. Now you all have done SYGC में NPO also, but as far as your syllabus is concerned here, it is income statement of a trader or a manufacturer. It is income statement of a trader or a manufacturer. Now I will start, and wherever required I'll highlight few points, because couple of items I won't be putting it in the format. I will discuss with you later on when the relevant sum comes. We will do in detail. Of course, BAF and BCom students, both of you all know that point. When I come, I'll explain. Okay. Now see, when we make final accounts, the first thing what you'll have done till now is trading P&L. It always starts with trading account. Now, what is your major source of revenue? What is your major source of revenue? Trading account में revenue कहाँ से आता है? Sales. So your income statement will always start with sales. Balance sheet started with sources of funds, first proprietors funds. This will start with sales. So what you will do? Now when I sell goods, I sell either on cash or only on credit, or part cash, part credit. If that is the case, they will give you in the question the breakup. Okay, so if the breakup is given, how we will write? You will start with gross sales. Okay, you will start with gross sales. Now, as I told you, you will be selling goods for cash as well as credit. So what you will do? Below gross sales, cash, next line, credit. Cash, credit. Sales, straight away put it in the third column. Whatever is the amount, you will put it and take uska total. Gross sales, cash, credit, right? And take uska total. Now see, you all know very well, when I say gross, gross means after deducting, gross means before deducting the sales return. Now, you all are doing since FYGC. Sales return, we deduct from sales. Purchase return, we deduct from purchases. So, if there are sales return, you will deduct from this total. So, below this total, you will write less sales return, take the difference. After deducting the difference, what you get is your net sales. Okay, so how you get net sales? Write gross sales, cash, credit, take the total, from that deduct sales return. Putting crosses because this is just a pro forma. Got it? So net sales is the major source of revenue. Now guys, see, if in the question they just give you sales, there is no cash, there is no credit, there is no sales return. In that case, no need to write all this. You can straight away start with net sales. In case in the question they don't give you the breakup, cash sales, credit sales, and there is no information for sales return, you can straight away start with net sales. Got it? So this is the way I get net sales. From this, you all have done in FY, BCom, BAF, both. From this, I will deduct something called as cost of goods sold. I will deduct something called as cost of goods sold. You all know what it is. Don't worry. I'll show the full presentation with you. Cost of goods sold. Now, cost of goods sold is nothing but the cost, the direct cost of the goods what you have sold. This normally includes all the items which come in trading account. This normally includes all the items which comes in the trading account, and it is adding all the items of the debit side, subtracting the credit, but not sales, because sales you have already written. Aram se, don't get confused. So, how does cost of goods sold start? Cost of goods sold will start with opening stock. Cost of goods sold will start with opening stock. Now guys, listen, the point which I was referring in the starting. If the company जिसका income statement we are preparing, if that company is a manufacturing company, then you all know, you all have done F5 manufacturing final accounts. There will be material consumed, there will be stock of WIP, opening closing both. Now what I am doing to avoid any confusion at this stage, I am avoiding that. When I come to the relevant sum, that time I'll show you, because unnecessary things will get confused. BAF students, you all have done in the previous sem in cost sheet. BCom students, you all will do it in the next year TY May when in the subject costing. Okay. Now, of course, you all have done in manufacturing accounts also, but in depth costing. Whatever I am format doing now, 50% of the items are of your cost sheet. But BCom students, don't worry, I'll make it very simple for you. So what I am doing, I am making this cost of goods sold ka part here from the point of view of trader. Then after the sum, if required, I give you the note so that you know things become simple for you. Okay, so opening stock here means finished good because 75 to 80% sums are on trader only. In this subject, management accounting, the level is not that great. Okay, so you will start with opening stock. You will put the amount in the second column. Cost of goods sold का फाइनल फिगर बाहर आएगा. Cost of goods sold का फाइनल फिगर बाहर आएगा. Okay, then to this you will add मतलब you will continue below. Now listen, purchases. ट्रेडिंग अकाउंट में ओपनिंग स्टॉक के बाद परचेस आता है. Purchases, if there are no returns, purchase का amount will come in the second column, and if there are returns, you will put the amount in the first column. From this, deduct purchase returns, and purchases minus purchase returns, it will come in the second column. Purchases minus purchase returns will come in the second column. Got it? So this figure is net purchase. Net purchase means after deducting returns. Now tell me, what else comes in the trading account? You are doing it in the SYBCOM. All direct expenses. जैसे कि carriage inward, wages, all type of factory expenses. I'm just writing factory expenses, whatever is the nature of factory expense. Factory rent, factory salary, factory supervision, anything connected to factory will come here. Okay. In case you pay any expenses at a time of purchase like custom duty or octroi अभी धीरे धीरे scrap हो गया, custom duty and all that, or any taxes on purchase of goods will be a part of cost of goods sold. Got it? Now guys, listen very carefully. A very important point coming here. Remember, this is just a proforma. Cost of goods sold. Now you all have done F5 back BCom both manufacturing final accounts. Yade, we used to prepare a manufacturing account. What we used to do? FYJC, SYJC mein, if there was depreciation on asset, let it be any asset, machinery, building, factory building, computer, office asset, anything, all depreciation we used to deduct from balance sheet and second effect P&L debit. Correct? Now here remember, very important point of depreciation in the format. This is my cost of goods sold. In case you are using any asset in the factory, asset used in factory जैसे कि plant and machinery, factory building, factory shed, any asset which is used in factory, उसका depreciation will be a part of cost of goods sold. उसका depreciation will be a part of cost of goods sold. Other assets का depreciation, when I go ahead, gradually when I come to the relevant stage, I will explain. So a very important point which you will be doing for the first time at your level, depreciation on factory assets. Okay, so depreciation on factory assets, you will put it here. So opening stock, net purchases, carriage inward, wages, any type of factory expenses, depre on factory assets will come here. Got it? Now see, you will take the total in the second column. Okay, you will take the total in the second column. Now what I told you, when you take cost of goods sold, we take items of trading debit. These are all items of trading debit, depre first time. From that you will subtract items of trading credit except for sales because sales ऊपर आ गया. Now tell me FYJC में क्या क्या आता है? सबसे पहले क्लोजिंग स्टॉक, ओपनिंग स्टॉक ऊपर ऐड किया. नाउ क्लोजिंग स्टॉक व्हाट डू यू डू ना, ये लेस के नीचे नहीं, हियर लिटिल बिट अंदर, लेस closing stock. Okay, you can put it here, no problem. I just hope the angle is clear. Yeah, less closing stock. Bolo, what else comes? It's very rare, hardly there are one or two sums, but it may come. What else comes? Trading account except for sales and closing stock. Goods destroyed by fire, goods distributed as free samples, so that also we will deduct. Goods destroyed by fire, goods distributed as free samples, etc., etc. Remember, if they give you in the adjustment, I told you in the starting only, this chapter is in three parts: balance sheet, income statement and combined. Combined में अगर adjustment में दिया रहेगा तो ही आएगा, otherwise no. That we will see later on when we come. Okay? So now this total minus these three, whatever I get here will come in the third column, and this is nothing but my cost of goods sold. So this final figure is my cost of goods sold. And now net sales minus cost of goods sold, the difference what you get is my gross profit. The difference what you get is my gross profit. So gross profit is net sales minus cost of goods sold. Gross profit is net sales minus cost of goods sold. Got it? So this is the first main part. If you all have space, you all continue below only. Got it? I'll repeat. Take gross sales, cash credit if the breakup is given. If there is sales return, deduct, get net sales. If breakup of cash credit, nothing is given, only sales, no returns, that itself will be net sales. You can straight away start with that. From that, deduct the cost of goods sold, opening stock, net purchases, wages, carriage inward, factory expense. Do not forget depreciation on factory assets. From that, closing stock, goods destroyed by fire, goods distributed as free samples. The format what I am attaching, in that format, one or two items are here, may not be there. If it is not here, it will be there. Okay. So this is just to make you understand the basic format. Got it? So net sales minus COGS, cost of goods sold, gives me gross profit. Now listen. Once I get the gross profit, FYJC ka basic. Once I get the gross profit, trading account is out. So now from trading I come to P&L. Gross profit आ गया. So gross profit आ गया. From trading I come to P&L. Now what you have to do? After getting cost of goods sold, BCom students, you all have done in the previous sem management accounting. Management accounting में there is a ratio का chapter. That ratio के chapter में we will study in detail. BAF students and BCom students both, you all will be studying after this chapter or maybe the third chapter from here on. Sorry. Okay. So now, after COGS, now I come to expenses. Now expenses here are expenses other than direct expenses. Direct expenses have come here. The expense what I am referring now is those expenses which come in P&L. Now the expenses which come in P&L here will be classified in two categories: operating, non-operating. Operating, non-operating. What is the difference? Operating expenses are those expenses which are a part of your day-to-day business activity you incur regularly in the business. Operating expenses are expenses which are a part of your day-to-day business activities which you incur on a daily basis. And non-operating means those expenses which you have incurred, but they are not a part of your regular business activity, and it won't appear always. It will come casually, and it has got nothing to do with your business activity. When I come to the head of non-operating expense, I'll give you that example. Right now, from the gross profit, okay, from the gross profit, you will deduct operating expenses. You will deduct operating expenses. Now understand this. Later, as I told you, you all have in the chapter ratio also. Now, operating expenses will be further classified in three categories. Operating expenses will be further classified in three categories. First, A, administrative expenses. A, administrative expenses. Administrative expenses means those expenses which are incurred in the office. Back students, in the previous sem you all have done in cost sheet. BCom students, don't worry, I am explaining to everyone. Even back students who don't remember, don't worry, I'm पूरा मैं explain कर रहा हूँ. So operating expenses classified in three categories. First, A, administrative expenses. Now, administrative expenses mean those expenses which are incurred in office, like office rent. If they say factory rent, it will come here. If they say only rent or office rent, it will come here. And sometimes they may mention showroom rent, then it will come somewhere else, where I'll come to that in 5-10 minutes. So office salary, office rent, only rent, general expenses, audit fees, legal expenses, establishment charges, salaries, all that comes in admin expense. So what you will do, pura list diya, I'll repeat: office salary, rent, office rent, audit fees, legal charges, accounting charges, postage, telegram, telephone, courier, legal charges, professional fees, general expense, sundry expense, all comes in that. And so what you will do, you will put all of them in the first column. Okay, whatever the item, the list is given, all of them in the first column. Now listen, ये क्या था? Debris on factory assets. Now, if there are assets, which you use in office, if there are assets if you use in office, then uska depreciation will be a part of admin expense. Uska depreciation will be a part of admin expense. जैसे कि ऑफिस कंप्यूटर है, ऑफिस में कैलकुलेटर्स है, डेस्कटॉप्स है, लैपटॉप्स है, ऑफिस फर्नीचर फिक्सचर, ऑफिस का लाइटिंग. इन शॉर्ट, वॉट एवर एसेट्स आर यूज्ड इन ऑफिस, उसका डेप्री विल बी एडमिन एक्सपेंस. एसेट्स यूज्ड इन फैक्ट्री, उसका डेप्री विल बी कॉस्ट ऑफ गुड्स सोल्ड. So what you will do, I'll just write this item: depreciation on office assets, etc., etc. This total will come in the second column. So operating expenses, divide it in three categories. First, A, administrative expenses. It is the expenses incurred in office. Put it one below the other in the first column and then debris on office assets. Here, coming to the second one. You all must have heard this word. Back students, you all know BCom, also it will be very common. Second will be selling and distribution expenses. Second will be selling and distribution expenses. Now see, when I say selling and distribution expenses, it means those expenses which are required to sell the goods, market the goods, distribute the goods. Those expenses which are required to sell, market and distribute the goods are your selling and distribution expenses. Very simple. You are doing it since FYG. Tell me, which are the expenses connected to sale and distribution? Advertisement, sales promotion, free samples, carriage outward. Carriage inward is paid on purchase of goods. Carriage outward is paid on sale of goods. So any expenses connected with selling the goods, distributing the goods will come here. Delivery expenses. Delivery expenses. You give discount to customer. Customer को discount देते हो. Discount allowed will also be a part of selling and distribution expenses. Discount में there is a criteria which I will come in sometime. Okay. So all those you will put it in the first column. Now remember, debris on factory assets came here. Debris on office assets will come here. Now in case you are having any assets which is used for selling and delivering the goods, you have na delivery van, tempo truck to deliver the goods to the customer. We call it as delivery van. So depreciation on delivery van will come here. Depreciation on delivery van will come here. Got it? Now guys, listen. You all are doing since FYJC. Bad debts. What is bad debts? Bad debts is a loss which is incurred due to insolvency of the person from whom I have to recover money. Due to insolvency of person from whom I have to recover the money. It is an irrecoverable debt. Now see, normal case में, if only bad debts is given, we take it as selling and distribution expenses. You know what is the normal trend? Suppose if the company is selling goods on credit, they have certain norm. 1% bad debts hota hi hai. So up to 1% here is taken as normal bad debts selling and distribution. और अगर 1% से ज़्यादा हुआ, then it is not a part of selling and distribution expenses. So normal bad debts will be a part of selling and distribution. If they give you only bad debts or normal bad debts, it will come here. So just for presentation, I will write here normal bad debts. Okay, normal bad debts. So after that, take the total and put it in the second column. Normal bad debts है, abnormal होगा. I'm coming to that point in 2 minutes. So operating expense, 3 parts. First, administrative expense. Second, selling and distribution. And third, finance expenses. Now, finance expenses are expenses which are incurred connected with raising money or finance. But यहाँ पे finance expense, since it is a part of operating expense, you have to just see short term finance. Long term finance का expenses यहाँ पे नहीं आएगा. So what all comes here? List दियो, I just tell you. Bank charges, you have account in bank, they charge you checkbook charges, SMS charges, किसी को direct payment किया उसका charges, demand draft charges, bank charges, interest on bank overdraft. Bank overdraft is a short term loan. Interest on other short term loans. Now listen, ये जो मैंने बोला first column में, what I told you, if they give you only discount allowed, you will take it as selling and distribution expense. That can be quantity discount or any form of discount. If they give you only discount allowed, you will take it as selling and distribution. But if the question says cash discount, then cash discount you will take it here. Discount allowed here, cash discount here. If the question says normal bad debts or bad debts, it will come here. But if there are bad debts over and above the normal bad debts, that is called as abnormal bad debts. So abnormal bad debts will come here. So normal bad debts, selling and distribution, abnormal bad debts, finance expense. They will give you in the question abnormal bad debts. अगर abnormal bad debts नहीं दिया है, only normal or only bad debts, you will take it as. Got it? And याद रखना, interest only on short term loans. Long term loan का interest यहाँ पे नहीं आएगा, it will come in some time. Got it? So take इसका total in the second column. Clear with this guys? So देखो क्या है? Operating expense, 3 categories. Admin, selling, finance. Now what you will do? Total of these 3. Admin, selling, distribution, finance. You will take it here. And what you will do? Gross profit. Gross profit minus operating expenses. The answer what you get here will be your operating profit. The answer what you get here will be operating profit. So operating profit is nothing but gross profit minus operating expense. Operating profit is gross profit minus operating expense. Right now we are at the operating part. Non-operating थोड़ी देर के बाद आएगा. Now, to this operating profit, I will add operating incomes. To this operating profit, I will add operating incomes. Okay. Now see, what are operating incomes? Operating incomes are those incomes which appears on the credit side of P&L and they are connected with your regular business activity. They are connected with your regular business activity. Like discount received. Allowed है तो selling and distribution. Discount received. Commission received. Royalty received. Royalty can be operating, can be non-operating. They'll give you the information. Royalty. Recovery of bad debts. You all have done in FYGC. Bad debts मतलब पैसा गया. But if the customer का financial position improves, you can get back the money. So that receipt of money is bad debts recovery. So royalty received, commission received, discount received, bad debts recovery, all are your part of operating income. What you will do? You will put all of them in the second column and take the answer in the third column. Got it? Operating item, there are always very few items or they may not be there. Got it? So now, operating profit plus operating income. Operating profit plus operating income. We will use the same word, but just we will add the word net. And one thing which I gave you all the hint. So this answer, again I'll repeat, operating profit plus operating income. This will be my net operating profit before interest. This will be my net operating profit before interest. Now yaad rakhna what I told you. Interest on short-term loans, interest on bank overdraft, all will come there. Interest on short-term loans, interest on bank overdraft, all will come here. So this interest is interest paid, but interest normally paid on long-term borrowings. Okay. So net operating profit before interest, from this we will deduct less interest. I'll just put it in brackets for understanding, on long-term borrowings. Because I'll repeat, if it is short-term, interest on short-term loans and bank overdraft will be a part of finance expense. यहाँ पे long-term. मतलब what? You all have done in balance sheet, no? If you issue debentures, public deposits, fixed deposits, if you take a loan from banks, financial institution, where the amount is paid after 1 year, long term, that loan which comes in the vertical balance sheet under the head secured loan, unsecured loan, that is borrowed funds or owed funds, uska interest will come here. Straight away in the third column, and after this what you get? Ye kya tha? Net operating profit before interest. So now after I deduct interest, this becomes my net operating profit after interest. Net operating profit after interest. So net operating profit before interest में से interest को deduct करो. After deducting interest, what you get is net operating profit after interest. Now see, this entire section was related to operating expenses. To that get the operating profit, to that add operating incomes, deduct the interest, that gives you net operating profit after interest. Now I told you some time back, classification operating, non-operating. We are done with the operating part. Now we come to non-operating. First, what we will do to this, let me check the angle of the mobile. Okay, just change the angle a bit. To this net operating profit after interest, just be little cautious of the light reflection. To this we will add non-operating incomes. To your operating profit, net operating profit after interest, to net operating profit after interest, we will add non-operating incomes. Non-operating incomes are those incomes. See, operating income is that which you get as a part of your day-to-day activities. Non-operating income is an income, but that has got nothing to do with your day-to-day business activity. Example, now there's an air conditioner running here. I buy the AC for the cooling of the classroom. Okay, without AC you cannot move on the business nowadays. Now, I buy the AC. Uska depreciation I'll provide. Tomorrow, say for example, AC खराब हो गया या कुछ प्रॉब्लम है, I have to discard it. In my books, after every year का depre, understand this example ना? In my books, after every year का depre, my value on the date of discarding is say 5,000 rupees. 7 साल 8 साल 5 साल यूज किया, एवरी ईयर डेप्री डिडक्ट कर करके आज जब डिस्कार्ड करना है, माय वैल्यू इज 5,000. इफ आई सेल फॉर 7,000, कैन आई से आई गॉट 2,000 का प्रॉफिट एज पर बुक्स? माय एग्जांपल. मेरा रोज का काम है एसी बेचना? नहीं. द फीस व्हाट आई गेट फ्रॉम माय स्टूडेंट्स, दैट इज माय ऑपरेटिंग इनकम. मेरे लिए ये फॉर्मेट नहीं बनेगा बिकॉज आई एम नॉट डीलिंग इन गुड्स. I just give an example. So if I sell the AC at a profit, that will be a non-operating income because profit हुआ है, लेकिन AC बेचना मेरा डे टू डे काम नहीं है, non-operating. मेरे पास कोई शेयर्स है, डिबेंचर्स है, उसके ऊपर इंटरेस्ट मिला, डिविडेंड मिला, non-operating income. इन्वेस्टमेंट्स बेचा, प्रॉफिट हुआ, non-operating income. So profit on sale of fixed assets, profit on sale of investments, interest on investment, dividend on investment, whatever you get, which has got no connection with your business activity, that becomes for you non-operating income. What I'll repeat: profit on sale of assets, profit on sale of investment, interest on investment, dividend on investments, etc. Format में मैंने detail दिया. So what you will do? You will put all of them in the second column and take the total in the third column. Take all of them in the second column, take the total in the third column. Now what you will do? Net operating profit after interest में net operating income को add करो. And after adding this we will call it as total income. Now see guys, few authors give a different name, few authors don't write anything. So don't worry, I'm just giving a common format. It's your college exam. Suppose your college professor using some other word. Sometimes people don't, they just write the total, they don't write any heading only. So that you don't worry. Okay. So net operating profit after interest में non-operating income add करो. That gives you your total income. Okay. From this total income, I will deduct non-operating expenses. I will deduct non-operating expenses. From the total income, I will deduct non-operating expenses. Same logic. Expenses which I incur but not a part of day-to-day activities, non-operating. जैसे मैंने example दिया, profit on sale of AC, non-operating income. If I sell it at loss, non-operating expense. So, loss on sale of assets, loss on sale of investments. चोरी हो गया, loss by fire, रोज चोरी नहीं होगा. Loss by fire, loss due to natural calamities, earthquake, tsunami. All these are non-operating expense. Loss on sale of assets, loss fixed assets, loss on sale of investments, loss by fire, loss by theft, loss by earthquake, loss due to tsunami. All these are your non-operating expenses. Sorry. Second column, non-operating expenses. Take the total of all of them in the third column. Take the total of all of them in the third column. Total income minus non-operating expense. Total income minus non-operating expense gives you the answer, that is your net profit before tax. That is net profit before tax. That means what? You are doing business. Whatever income you earn, you are doing business. Whatever income you earn, on that you have to pay tax. Whatever income you earn, you have to pay tax. Say for example, the rate is 30%. तो ये जो भी आंसर आया, you will pay उसका 30%. That will be in accounts. In tax, there is a different calculation which you all are going to study in direct tax. BAC students, you all know, BCom students, you all will study next year. So there's no need to get into that. So whatever is my income tax is always paid as a percentage of profit before tax. Now, this is net profit before tax. इधर कैसे किया? Profit before interest, deduct interest, after interest. Same way, this is net profit before tax. From this, we will deduct income tax, or you call it as provision for income tax. Straight away in the third column, take the difference. That difference is my net profit after tax. That difference is my net profit after tax. Got it, guys? So थोड़ा और फॉर्मेट बाकी है, but 75% of the sums will end here. Few will continue. वो क्या है मैं बता. So this is net profit after tax. Now guys, listen. After this, there will be something called as appropriations. What it is, I will come in 2 minutes. If in the question appropriations are not there, again I am repeating, appropriation क्या है 2 मिनट में आ रहा हूं. If in the question there are no appropriations, sum will get over here only. It is the end of the sum. But in case there are appropriation, it will continue further a bit. Again I'll repeat, अगर question में appropriation नहीं है, appropriation क्या है, coming in 2 minutes, the sum will end here. और अगर appropriation है, it will continue. How? To this, you will add opening balance of profit and loss. To this, you will add opening balance of P&L. That means that is in the vertical balance sheet. जो तुम्हारा P&L होता है ना, reserves and surplus में, वो on the first day of the year, whatever is the balance, you add it to your net profit after tax. When you make the balance sheet, reserves and surplus में जो P&L आता है, not on the last day, first day of the year, you will add. What you will do? Net profit after tax, add opening balance of P&L. That total will give you total income. That total will give you total income. So net profit after tax, add opening balance. Sorry. Total income. Sorry. My bad. Sorry. Net profit after tax, add opening balance of P&L. This will give you what I told you. इसके बाद appropriation. So this will be profit available. Profit available for appropriations. Now I'll come to that point. So net profit after tax, add opening balance of P&L. That will be my profit available for appropriations. From this, I will deduct the appropriations. From this, I will deduct the appropriations. Now listen, appropriations क्या होता है? Generally, appropriation is referred as voluntary transfers or payments. जैसे you all know very well, FYGC से पढ़ते आ रहे हो तुम लोग OCSP में, and practical part तुमने नहीं किया है, but you all know that logic. When I issue shares, can I say I pay dividend? When I issue shares, I pay dividend. Now shares तुम लोग को पता है दो पार्ट में we did in the vertical balance sheet, and that time I explained you the difference also. Equity और preference में क्या difference है? Equity share capital पे I don't pay fixed dividend. I may pay dividend, I may not pay dividend. I may pay at a high rate, I may pay at a low rate, or I may not pay at all. So it is not compulsory appropriation. Preference dividend पे preference shares के ऊपर I have to pay fixed rate of dividend, but there are preference shares which are cumulative. Cumulative मतलब फर्स्ट ईयर का डिविडेंड मैं चाहूँ तो नहीं पे करूं, सेकेंड ईयर में फर्स्ट और सेकेंड 2 साल का साथ में, फर्स्ट ईयर में नहीं पे करूं, सेकेंड ईयर में नहीं पे करूं, थर्ड ईयर में ऑल 3 इयर्स का टुगेदर, फर्स्ट 3 इयर्स में कुछ भी पे नहीं करूं, फोर्थ ईयर में ऑल टुगेदर. Appropriation. Transferring from one reserve to another reserve. You all have done FMA, or you will be doing this same only. Redemption of preference shares you all transfer to CRR. Final accounts में आएगा. BCom student next year, back student यही सेमेस्टर में FMA. Transferring from one reserve to another reserve. Current year के profit में से some amount I transfer to general reserve. I am keeping aside money either for a general purpose or for a specific purpose, but compulsion नहीं है. That is an example of appropriation. I can go in much deep, but ज़्यादा deep में जाऊंगा तुम्हारे syllabus से applicable नहीं है. So these are examples of appropriations. Dividend, if you pay during the year, interim dividend. Dividend which is paid during the year is called as interim dividend, and the dividend which you pay after the year is over is called as final dividend. So what all will come here? List में दिया हुआ है. Dividend on equity shares, dividend on preference shares, interim dividend, transfer to reserves, all that will be a part of appropriations. Getting it? Format में I have given you the items. So appropriation means voluntary transfers of payment like dividend on equity shares, dividend on preference shares when you make the payment, transfer to reserves, etc. And the total of appropriations, I'll take it here, and profit available for appropriation minus my appropriations gives me the final answer. Now listen, what I told you, ये जो opening balance है, that is the balance of P&L on the first day of the year. अभी ये जो final बचता है ना, this will be balance carried forward to balance sheet. This will be my balance carried forward to balance sheet. This will be my balance carried forward to balance sheet. तुम्हारी जो बैलेंस शीट बनती, what you all did in the first part, जो फिगर जाता है लास्ट डे ऑफ द ईयर के बैलेंस शीट में, this is that figure. Suppose यहाँ पे अमाउंट होता 5 लाख रुपीस, so in your balance sheet reserve and surplus में दिखता 5 लाख रुपीस. So ultimately P&L का final figure only goes in your P&L, which is there under the head reserves and surpluses. Got it? So again I'll repeat. अभी पता चल गया appropriation क्या है? Appropriation नहीं होता, appropriation नहीं होता, my sum would have ended here only. Sorry, my sum would have ended here only. और अगर appropriation है, I will continue further. So net profit after tax में I will add opening balance of P&L. दोनों को add करके I get profit available for appropriations. From that, deduct appropriations. Profit available for appropriations minus appropriation gives you balance carried forward to balance sheet. And this, when we prepare the main balance sheet, goes under the head reserves and surpluses. Goes under the head reserves and surpluses. Got it, guys? So this is your vertical income statement. I have discussed the full format with you all. Exam में पूरा detail में भी आ सकता है. And if they ask you in detail, there will be just 1, 1, 2, 2, 3, 3 items in each head. इतना बड़ा नहीं आएगा. ये तो मैंने पूरा format discuss किया. So I'll repeat how we start. Just to brush up. Gross sales minus sales return, net sales. Net sales में से deduct cost of goods sold gives you gross profit. Gross profit में से deduct operating expense, which is in 3 parts: admin, selling, finance. Difference is my operating profit, that is gross profit minus operating expense. To that, add operating incomes. I told you what it is. Take the total. Operating profit, add operating incomes, net operating profit before interest. From that, deduct interest, which is only on long-term loans. Take the difference, that is my net operating profit after interest. To that, add non-operating income, that gives you total income. Deduct non-operating expense, that is net profit before tax. From this, deduct income tax, net profit after tax. If there are no appropriations, sum ends here. And if there are appropriations, you will continue further. Appropriation hai to this, add opening balance of P&L. This plus this gives you profit available for appropriations. From that, deduct appropriations. And after deducting appropriation, what you get, that is your balance carried forward to balance sheet. So last few days we did balance sheet. Now the next 3-4 classes, at least 3, we will do income statement, and after that we will take combined sums on income statement and balance sheet. There are very few colleges who do combined sums, but at least I have done 2-3 sums, so that in case any college does, you all are on the safer side. But anyway, before that, first you have to be thorough with this. Now remember, the third part, combined balance sheet and income statement, you cannot do till the time you are thorough with the first 2 parts. So that's it, guys. We have discussed the entire vertical income statement format. We are done with the first part, balance sheet. I've given you the Proforma. Now when I meet in the next class, we will be doing 3 to 4 sessions, 3 at least, sums based on vertical income statement, where question made trading and P&L or only P&L will be given. We'll have to convert it in the vertical format. There are few sums where directly they start with gross profit. So the sum will directly start from here. How to do that we'll see later on. Acha, and one more thing what I told you. I have made this format as per trader. That means assuming the company is into trading business. If the company is manufacturer, then here there will be some adjustment of raw material consumed and WF. Just write a note for that. In the above format, the cost of goods sold is shown for a trading company. Cost of goods sold is shown for a trading company. Okay. Continue. In case the company is a manufacturing company, then under the head cost of goods sold, there will be a subheading of raw material consumed. With adjustment of opening and closing stock with adjustment of opening and closing stock of work in progress. Opening and closing stock of work in progress. Got it? When the relevant, there are just one or two sums. When that sum comes, I will show you that. Raw material consumed and WIP, you all know, BAF, BCom, both the students, you all have done this in F5. When I do EAC, you will say, ये तो किया हुआ है, खाली थोड़ा presentation दिखाना. That's it guys, without wasting any further time. I wind up the session here. Please revise this format carefully before we meet in the next class, because next 3 to 4 days, what I am going to do will be purely based on this format. That's it guys. See you all in the next class.